Hello and welcome back to the channel. People often ask us, how do you manage living in winter in a caravan? And rightly so, it's not easy. And I will tell you a little story. Recently, I really needed a break from our caravan life. I booked a short city break, I went away for a few days and I stayed in a lovely apartment. I really needed to stay in the walls for a few days. And that really made me think, this experience of needing a break from the lifestyle I'm literally selling to you in every single video, it really made me think, Kat, why do you need a break from your everyday life in a caravan in winter? And guess what? I have loads of home truths I'm going to share with you today and tell you exactly how we manage living in a caravan in winter full time and why sometimes we simply need a break from it. Welcome back to the channel if you're a regular viewer, and thank you for your lovely messages, likes and comments. We love reading your comments. If it's your first time, my name is Kat and I live in a caravan, and this is going to be my 5th winter in a caravan. So what are the small details which can really wear you out, which can exhaust you? What are the aspects of living in a caravan which are not issues in dry sunny months but become problems, chores, difficulties and challenges in winter? Are you with me? Are you still watching? Please give this video a like, and as you are discovering some home truths with me, some very personal things as well, think and tell me, could you live in a caravan full-time in winter, or is it a bit too much? Or maybe on contrary, you've done things which are far more challenging. I'm dying to know. We love reading your comments and we respond to every single one. So what is it like and how does our life change in winter? Well, we spend much more time inside. We spend more time in the caravan than we do outside. So in the summer it's lovely because we mostly sleep in our caravan, and even though it's quite a big caravan for 2 adults and a big dog, it's tiny space, so it's very cozy. And as the weather gets bad, we spend more time at home, we spend more time in our caravan, and it's really easy to start to get on each other's nerves. I could honestly make a whole video about tiny little things which drive us mad and our tiny little habits which can cause arguments in our caravan. So let me know if you would like to see such a video, but most of them relate to being organized with the space, domestic chores, making noise, not putting things back where they belong, maybe neglecting some of the chores and some duties around the caravan, which then, like dominoes, affect our everyday life and make us tense or edgy and generally grumpy. Winter makes it all a bit harder. It's the same like with walking, camping, narrowboating. It's nice and enjoyable in the summer when it's dry, sunny, and the wind is not trying to blow you away. But for example, little things like emptying our cassette toilet. Well, it's not a big deal during the day. Like now, we have a really lovely sunny moment. But imagine your toilet cassette is full and it's 10 o'clock in the evening, it's cold outside, it's windy, it's blowing a hoolie, and you have to walk through the mud to the chemical toilet point. So you can probably sense another little argument come in. Oh, whose turn is it to empty the cassette? Who's going to brave the weather? Who's going to walk through the mud to the chemical toilet point? It's just a reality of living in a caravan full-time in winter. It's not winter yet, and this sun is really not helping me today with making my video meaningful, but as you can see around me, look, it's the end of the season, so some caravans have been taken away already, some are covered, and we are in the process of packing our bell tents for winter. We also removed our windbreaks because we don't use our garden anymore. It's simply too wet and the grass is soggy and soft, and if we kept walking over it, we would damage it. And just to finish off the toilet theme and hygiene and general normal everyday life things, As you know from our previous videos, we only use our toilet in a caravan for number ones, which means that every morning or whenever you feel the call of nature, we have to walk to the toilet, to the campsite toilet, to sort out daily number two. We don't do it in the caravan, and sometimes it's a bit annoying, really, that you have to dress up and again walk through the rain, walk in the cold, put your layers on and hat, and often a torch. If it's an early morning, you need a head torch to just go and poop. So people living in homes with normal toilet appreciate it that you have there handy, and you don't have to put your jacket on and a head torch to simply go and sort out your business. It's the same with a shower. How lovely it will be to just take an evening shower and hop straight into a bed. Not an option for us in winter, and I talked about it in a separate video why we don't shower in our caravan, and it's especially a bad idea in winter. Share your thoughts in the comments. Can you imagine that each time you need to use a toilet for number two, you have to put your jacket on, leave your home and walk somewhere to do it because you don't have your toilet inside? You don't have a usable toilet inside. Of course we could do it, but we choose not to for the sake of cleaning the cassette. And yeah, let me know, would this stop you from living in a caravan in winter? Would it be a problem, or maybe not at all? Do you even think each time you use a toilet at home how convenient it is and how lucky you are that you have it inside? If you've done a little bit of caravanning and you stayed on a caravan inside, you know that the electricity is, in a way, it is limited, and campsites, electric hookup points do not provide the same value of electricity as we enjoy at home. So in winter, when most of the energy is consumed by our heater, we really have to think twice before we make a cup of tea or coffee, before we start cooking. We have to think, oh, do we actually have any energy left to power up the cooker or a microwave, or simply a coffee machine? So sometimes when we have a heater on and maybe I'm using a dishwasher, I have to turn off one of those things before I make myself a cup of tea. So this is something you learn very quickly. And we have a separate video about EHU and how much power you can use on a campsite at the same time, how many appliances you can power up at the same time before you trip your fuse. Energy use, energy draw is just another thing which changes in winter. It wasn't a problem in the summer when it was lovely and warm. Suddenly in winter, when we need to turn heating much more often, we really have to think how we use our energy. And that's just another thing you don't have to worry about in the summer, because in the summer, when it's warm, when it's sunny, we don't have to use the heating so much. In winter, we do need to turn the heater on much more often, and that really affects our everyday life. Having spent a few winters in a caravan, we've learned that we need side shoes, which are normally black and covered in mud for most of the time. So we have side shoes because we are surrounded by mud, and we have off-side shoes, which are nice and shiny and clean, and we keep them clean. So these are my side shoes, my walking boots, and when we go out, I put a bit smarter shoes in winter, but there is no point in wearing those. Can you see? There's no point in wearing those on side because they will be covered in mud very, very quickly. So I have a few pairs of wellies as well. So this is your choice of footwear if you live in a caravan full-time in winter. And I recommend wellies with lining. These are really good. These are my favorite. So for dog walks or just general movement around your caravan, you know, you need wellies and you need boots. So forget your fancy boots, forget your smart footwear. It's not very practical here in winter. That applies to jackets as well. Forget smart coats. you need waterproofs, you need decent outdoor clothing, you need layers. Bad news, especially for the ladies, if you are used to your smart boots, maybe high heels, your beautiful coats, your beautiful woolly coats, they will not work very well in winter on a caravan inside. And I always envy the Spanish women whenever we are in Spain over winter and I see their beautiful winter outfits. I look at them and I think, oh, how beautiful they are. Look at those coats and beautiful shoes and matching handbags. Well, my winter, for most of the time, has different requirements. It's not frosty yet, but when we have temperature below 0, we need to make sure we fill up our water tank during the day when it's a bit warmer, because in early mornings or in early evenings when we have a bit of frost, our water tap simply freezes, and we have to think ahead and work according to the weather, act according to the weather to make sure we fill up our water tank whenever we can, because sometimes it's not an option. We wake up and if the tank is empty and if it's a frosty morning, we cannot fill up our water tank on the pitch. And it happened to me a few times last year that I had to walk to the shower block to fetch some water. Do you now think we are mad hats and we are nutters? We are crazy to live in a caravan in winter because it's so inconvenient, so difficult, so challenging. Well, the best is still to come. There is also winter weather and winter storms. And as much as we love living in a caravan in a coastal area in the summer, in those exposed rural coastal areas, the winter weather is trying to kill you quite often. So there is always a risk of fallen trees. And yeah, it does happen, as you can see here. So whenever we endure a storm, we never know what the morning is going to bring, whether we'll survive. Really, it's quite dramatic, but there is always the risk, especially during the storms, because we live in a cubicle made of plastic and wood, and these storms and those stormy nights are really the only moment when I feel vulnerable and I wish I was in the building. And sometimes we are in the building, sometimes when the weather gets really rough and we don't feel safe and we don't trust that we will make it till the morning intact, we simply pack the most necessary things and we sleep in the bar. We sleep in the campsite bar. We leave the caravan, and we've done it last year. We have a video about this. So that's another aspect of living in a caravan full-time in winter. Sometimes it's really dangerous. It's not safe to do it, basically. And it's not worth risking your life and your health. This is just a caravan, you know, we can replace it. It's really hard to replace lives. So if it's too tough, when it gets dangerous, when it gets really tricky, we simply run away from our caravan and we seek shelter in a safer place. And even on the days when the weather is not extreme, but we get really heavy rain and high winds, I don't sleep because it's so noisy in the caravan when the rain is pouring and hitting the roof, when the gusts of winds literally rock the van. You will have a few sleepless nights in winter. And the final thing about living in a caravan full-time in winter is that you will be a bit lonely, because look, all the guests, all the campers are gone. And there isn't anyone to talk to. Our neighbors are not here. And some will not be back till spring. By now you may be thinking, how on earth do they manage? Why do they do it? It doesn't make sense. It's such a horrendous experience to live in a caravan in winter. Well, we have a few strategies not to kill each other in winter. So the first thing is that we stop working. So remember, we've had a really busy summer. We've worked on site for 8 months. We are getting till the end of our contract, our seasonal contract. So we start work by the end of November and we take 2 months off. So 2 months, which are the most challenging, the coldest months, the season for storms, we have this time off. And in the past, we would just pack and spend this time in Spain. We used to go away for 2-3 months when Diesel was younger and he could travel a bit better. Recently, we had to stop our longer journeys and our longer trips to Spain because he's not good in a car anymore. So the first thing we do is that we stop working, because we can manage these challenges provided we don't have to work on top of this, because simply living in a caravan full-time in winter keeps us busy, stretched, occupied, and sometimes genuinely tired. Another thing which we do to avoid killing each other in caravan in winter is booking short breaks. So yeah, we do go away. So when we work, we have some days off together towards the end of the season. We have our weekends off together finally, which means we can book a short break, go to see friends, stay with the family. So we do get out from the caravan to relax, to change the scene. We stop working for 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and that's how we survive, that's how we manage. So everyday life in a caravan in winter is tough. The simplest things such as cooking, washing, pooping is a challenge. It's harder, it becomes much more harder than it was in the summer. So we definitely feel the change of the season. We have to adapt to new circumstances. We have to adapt to the weather, shorter days, wetter and colder days. So we've worked out our strategies, and our first strategy is to not work through the whole winter. And the second one is to get away, to book a holiday, to book short breaks. That's it from me. So now it's your turn. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So let me know what you think, what are your reflections of this lifestyle in winter, whether you are ready to try or you think, no way, this is too difficult. We are looking forward to reading your comments and we respond to all of them. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more of me, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video, which we publish on Wednesday and hopefully during our live stream on Sunday 7 p.m. the UK time. We do a weekly chat with you when you can talk to me in the real time, ask me questions through the chat. So make sure you visit the channel at 7 p.m. on Sunday evening. See you later. Take care. Keep warm. Bye bye.